Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Saturday, August 15th, 2020. We'd like to bring you said news out of Minneapolis, Minnesota pertaining to Mr. George Floyd. This said source is KIMT3 News if you need verification for the source. New body cam video from George Floyd's death shows panicked witnesses begging officers to check his pulse. Newly released police body cam footage from the fatal arrest of George Floyd shows a crowd of bystanders becoming increasingly upset as police hold down the 46-year-old black man, pleading with officers to get off him and check his pulse. The video from the body camera of former Minneapolis police officer Tu Tail was released Thursday by the Hennepin County Court. Tail was seen in early videos of the incident standing by three other officers restrained Floyd after he was accused of trying to pass a fake $20 bill at a Minneapolis convenience store on May 25th. The footage is just the latest to show the fatal encounter, which, along with Floyd's death, sparked widespread protests and renewed nationwide reckoning over race and policing. Earlier this week, the two other videos from police body cameras worn by officers Thomas Lane and J. Alexander Queen were released, showing the struggle between Floyd and the officers. Throughout the new 22-minute video, bystanders are seen and heard begging the police to get off Floyd as Officer Derek Chauvin kneels on his neck, but Tail dismisses their concerns, telling them that Floyd is okay. Chauvin, a white officer, knelt on Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes, even as Floyd repeatedly cried, "I can't breathe." Chauvin has been charged with second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. The three other officers involved in Floyd's death, Tail, Lane, and Queen, have been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. None of the officers has entered a plea in the case, though attorneys for Tail and Lane have requested their cases be dismissed, and Queen intends to plead not guilty, according to his attorney. Attorneys for Chauvin and Queen declined to comment when asked about the new footage. CNN has also contacted lawyers for Tail and Lane for comment and is awaiting responses. What the video shows. The footage begins as Tail and Chauvin approach the scene where Queen and Lane are trying to get a handcuffed Floyd into the back of a patrol car. Tail watches the other three officers struggle with Floyd, who is audibly and visibly distraught. Chauvin appears to have his arm around Floyd's neck. By this time, Floyd can be heard yelling he can't breathe several times. Seconds later, the officers say Floyd on the ground beside the patrol car and restrain him in the same position he was in when a 7-year-old bystander began filming Floyd's final moments. It's known from other videos that Chauvin is kneeling on Floyd's neck, though it's not explicitly seen in the video captured by Tail's body cam. Bystanders gather on the sidewalk watching the incident unfold. Some film the arrest with their phones, while others confront the officers and express concern for Floyd, who cries out for his late mother and soon says his final words, "I can't breathe." "This is why you don't do drugs, kids," Tail says. "He's talking, so he's fine," Tail tells the crowd, after adding, "It's hard to talk when you're not breathing." One bystander, a black man named Donald Williams, insists that Floyd is not okay. "Bruh, he's not even effing moving right now, bro." A woman approaches, says she's a firefighter, and asks Tail if Floyd has a pulse. Tail yells at her, "Back off and get on the sidewalk." The bystanders become increasingly upset after Floyd stops speaking and moving, pleading with the officers to check for a pulse. More people begin gathering on the sidewalk until about a dozen people are watching the arrest. "What are you doing?" one woman says. "He's dying." The back and forth between Tail and the crowd continues, at times becoming physical as Tail pushes bystanders back onto the sidewalk until about 13 minutes into the footage. At that point, Chauvin appears from off camera. Floyd has already been loaded into an ambulance. "You just really killed that man, bro," Williams said to Chauvin. Floyd was taken to a hospital where he was soon pronounced dead. And that is the said information by KIMT3 News. Well, most of you who stay in the know with news probably have seen the video footage of Tail trying to back the bystanders off and the quipping back and forth between the bystanders and Tail. But when you see the earlier videos, Tail was basically standing in front of Chauvin, so the bystanders could not basically get a view of what was going on. But you're out in the open, you can see the man lying on the ground, begging and pleading for his life, and Chauvin's knee to his neck. And to make such disrespectful comments about Floyd, talking, jokingly saying, "Well, how can a man not breathe and he's talking?" Well, a lot of people who are gasping for air can squirm out a few little words. Hello? Did you hear what I'm saying? He was being murdered. He was able to utter some words that he could not breathe, and he later died. And you can blame it on drugs all you want. You can tell your lawyers that and plead that to the judge, 12 members of a jury. That's all fine and dandy. But the video does not lie. The said information of the fake $20 bill does not lie. The fact that that same owner of the store said he wasn't the one who passed the $20 bill tells you all you need to know. So basically, we're saying the man died over a bill he did not pass, or he did pass it. And even if Floyd passed that bill, he still didn't deserve to be manhandled that day, nor thrown to the ground, and had a knee to his neck, which caused his death. And that's my opinion. Others differ. I don't really care. But most of you have seen the footage from day one, and now this new release video of the people arguing with Teo, and then there's also footage of Teo being interviewed by his attorneys or whatever, or police in a room, and he's acting so, what's the word I want to use? Pretending like he's concerned and empathetic. You weren't empathetic that day when you stood out there blocking those bystanders' view. You knew what you were doing. You were trying your best to have them not see what was going on with Floyd on that ground, but they did, and you stood by. And to quit back to the bystanders, it wasn't your job to help him. Well, you could have said something to show them and the others, hey, get him up. That's enough. Get him up. It doesn't take that long to restrain a person, because the 411 is this. They didn't have any business taking him out of the damn police car to take him to the ground. I don't care how he was acting in the back seat of that police car. If you have just cause to arrest him, he should have remained in the car until being transported to the jail. Why in the hell would you take him out of the police car, and then he ends up fighting for his life by the knee of a police officer, and now you want to cry months later? You were not a willing participant. This is typical, standard to restrain a person. You know it's not typical. You admit that in this interview. So, deal with the consequences. This man is dead. And no matter what he did or did not do on that day, it wasn't worth what happened to him. Being murdered in front of people on a public street over a $20 bill. And that's the said information. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Tell me what you think. You all have a safe and wonderful weekend. God bless all of you. Mask up. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, you guys, for joining me. And I'll talk to you guys later. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Bye-bye.